So as we sit here in the Centre for Peace and Reconciliation, this centre was built as a military barracks in the year 1800. Now the story behind the military barracks and what went on here is very intriguing because it involved the 1798 rebellion, the United Irishmen and their uprising against British imperial rule. So the British, the most ferocious fighting against the British happened in Wicklow and Wexford. The Wexford men were famous for their fighting, but also the men in the Wicklow Hills were also famous, and two of them, General Joseph Holt and Michael Dwyer, were notorious, and they were the people who probably were the inventors of guerrilla warfare, and they used the Wicklow Mountains as their retreat and hiding place from the British. The British couldn't defeat them, so they decided they were going to build a military road through the Wicklow Mountains for 66 kilometres, and that they would be able to use this road to march their garrisons down through the mountains and flush out Holt's men and Dwyer's men, and that's how they would deal with it. But to build a military road, they needed to build a barracks, and they built this barracks here behind me in 1800. It housed 75 soldiers, and then the house across the road, Longbourn, held 12 officers. The officers and the soldiers couldn't live together because of military discipline, so the officers were based across the road in Longbourn. The building of this as a military installation didn't last too long, because what basically happened was, not long after this was built, Holt in the north of County Wicklow and Dwyer in the south of County Wicklow came together, and they decided, listen, we can't beat the British and they can't find us, so we need to kind of do something here that's going to get us off the hook. So they sued for terms, and Holt in the north went to Lord Wingfield from the Powers Court estate, who was a captain in the British military, and Dwyer in South Wicklow, he went to Hume of Humefield House, and they sued for terms, and they were given terms, and the terms were that they would leave Ireland and go to the New World as free men. But they didn't get to the New World, they got to Australia, and Dwyer lived in Australia and died in Australia, but Holt came back to Ireland after a number of years and opened up a public house in Dunleary, and he lived out his days as a free man in Ireland. So they were both serious rebels, but they escaped the hangman and they got terms, and then the military road and the military barracks here in County Wicklow became obsolete. So the barracks was closed in 1820, and it was left derelict. And that was how this place was built. So the building directly behind me and the stables behind me also were the only buildings that were built for the military, besides the house on the road called Longbourn. And that was what was built in 1800, but as a military installation, not used much, and shut down in 1820.